The line came about with the help of producer Brian Eno. Aside from your shared enjoyment of gospel singer James Cleveland, what did you take away from your time with him?
Just take it easy a bit more, I think, with the music side of things. You know, try and remember that you do it for the love of it, and just just have a laugh with it. Really, not take everything too seriously. And I think he pretty much he really helped validate what I was doing, and then I could sort of go in the direction I was going in, thinking, great, he likes it. He's overseen a lot of albums being made, so that's a good person to say, seems like you're going in the right direction.
Did his influence on helping you have more fun with what you're doing, did that translate into the music on Overgrown?
Yeah, I mean, he actually, to be honest, I met him about it quite late in the process, so it was not like he sort of helped the album form itself. It's just the fact that, to speak to somebody like that helps, and everything really.
Sure. Now, another collaboration is with RZA from Wu-Tang Clan on the track Take a Fall For Me. Now, I understand when it comes to collaborations, you prefer to strike up a bit of a friendship, but in this case, you just had to send the track away to RZA.
Yeah, pretty much.
Did you feel a little uneasy about that?
Yeah, I mean, it was like sending it for mastering. It was like, just see what comes back. He really nailed it though. I mean, he's obviously consummate professional. He also did it with such a level of kind of intimacy and sensitivity that I got it back and I got shivers. And I was like, oh, great. And I just plonked it on the top of it, sent him a beat, and what he sent back, I just went, superimposed it.
Sure. I mean, with someone as big as RZA, if you hadn't liked the track, would you really send it back to him anyway?
No, I wouldn't have released it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, I'm sure there's loads of collaborations that don't work, and you just have to say, well, you can't just release it just because there's the name that you want on the record. It doesn't really work like that.
Sure, I thought some
or you'd
people
be able to hear through that, I reckon.
Absolutely. Now, what you said when it comes to writing, it's all about the headspace you're in. Was there a certain kind of headspace you were trying to convey with the new record?
Yeah, kind of manically under pressure. I mean, there's a lot of pressure on this record, but that's all right. I work well under pressure, kind of. Seemed to spur me on to make me write better songs. I think this album has a few sort of songs on it that exemplify the fact that I've worked at that, and I'm really proud of the record. There's a few things I don't feel finished to me as well, but I mean, it's just, you never really finish anything, you just submit it, so I'm just, giving it to everyone and going, oh, I'd be like that. Yeah.
What tracks on the record don't feel complete to you?
I'd say Life Around Here, but then I think, no, it is finished in its own way. It's just, it's just me. It's just like, tiny little things that I'm just like, oh God, wish I could have done that. But I can't, even if I tried to do it, it probably wouldn't have any effect on anybody else. It would just be purely cosmetic.
Was the pressure you felt, was it more internal or external? I understand on the first album there was some, the label a little bit and some peers trying to force their input onto your sound. Were this time, given the success of your self-titled debut, were you left alone a bit more?
Well, if anything, the eyes light up at a label when you start selling some records, even though I didn't, in the grand scheme of things, sell that many records. But I mean, when you kind of recoup and you're doing alright, and there's a lot of artists that get signed for millions who don't recoup and just flop. So, I didn't sign for that much money, and then suddenly, I'm doing well. And there's a sense of, well, what else have you got up your sleeve? Have you got any big songs? So and then I'm kind of like, I'm sort of like a rabbit in the headlights. But I tried to just develop my songwriting. I wasn't trying to write hits. I was just trying to write. I listened to a bit of Radiohead. Like, actually, Radiohead was a good indicator as to how you could make a song be really powerful, but not, kind of really compromising, I think.
Sure, absolutely. Around the time of your first album, you described your instrument as a voice that you hadn't fully explored yet. What new things did you discover about your voice during the making of Overgrown?
Well, one is that it's fragile. I kind of, I played like 400 gigs, you know, you have to have considered it to be practice after that amount of time, and even if you don't think it is at the time, you know, every night, playing to new audiences and being vulnerable on stage, and then, you know, you start knowing how to maintain your voice, you know, drink water, don't drink too much beer, don't, like, you know, drink too much coffee, don't drink milk before you sing, you know, it's all these things I had no idea about when I first went out. And once you start doing those things in the studio as well, once you take those techniques and take them back to the studio, then you start getting more consistent vocal takes, and you start getting the ability to just look at what you're doing and analyse it, and not too much.
Sure. I'm interested to know, David Lynch, the film director and musician in his own right, once said that trying to articulate an idea into language can destroy the purity of that idea. Is that a concept you could relate to?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you know, he's probably past the point where he's doing loads of interviews, whereas I'm not. So, you know, I'm kind of fighting that struggle every day with, you know, trying not to, you know, not trying to articulate the music so much as just the processes and everything else. I mean, the music is what it is. You know, hopefully people will like it for what it is, and have their own ideas about what the lyrics mean and what the concepts are. And
sure, absolutely. You don't want to give away the meanings of the songs, otherwise you like everyone to have their own interpretation.
Yeah, well, I mean, on this album I think they're a bit more self-explanatory. I mean, some of the lyrics are pretty self-explanatory. Even if they might be cloaked slightly, I think most people will be able to see through what I'm saying, and don't need to go through it, you know.
I mean, when you first came onto the scene, you were known as an instrumental artist. In that sense, are the lyrics secondary or more disposable to you?
They used to be a bit more. I mean, I did 2 covers as pretty much my most successful songs, so in a way, yeah, they were disposable to me. And also one of them was my dad's songs, and I probably pretty disrespectfully covered it. I mean, I only took the verse and then I looped it 40 times or something.
Sure.
And then submerged it into some sort of chaotic noise track. So he's probably thinking, oh God, that's not very nice, is it? But he eventually liked it, so that was nice.
A relief. So how do you like to speak a lot about the organic side of music, but how do you balance that with the precision of electronic producing?
I don't know if I try. It's just something that if you play keyboard, it's, you know, I play all the parts in, so it's kind of happening naturally when I'm just playing the synths in my hand, so all the chords and all that kind of stuff is just immediately humanised. I can't really help it.
Sure, fair. Alright, James, we're going to turn it over to the viewers now to see what questions they've written in. The first one is from Meekow. Do you feel like you have a split fan base? One who likes you for your vocal stuff and the other for electronic?
I think I have had that, which is kind of nice. I mean, you know, one turns up for the DJ sets, one turns up for the live shows, and maybe both. But I think that's kind of merging a bit now, because this album just seems a bit more, or hopefully it will merge a bit more. This album just seems a bit more like it's encompassing all of it, as opposed to, I mean, there's like basically a house tune on there and some kind of slightly dubsteppy tune. I mean, Digital Lion is kind of you know, I could have heard that being played at DMZ or one of those nights if I played, you know.
Yeah.
I don't know if anyone else played.
Next question is, what were some of your favourite albums of 2012?
When did the Jeremiah mixtape come out?
I'm not sure.
Okay, well that was probably one of my favourites. Kendrick Lamar's album, brilliant.
Sure.
Also, when that came out, I was kind of that was pretty intimidating, because I was just about to finish mine and I was kind of going, oh God, like, he's got like segues and field recordings and like phone calls and all these things. I was kind of going, it all links together. Mine doesn't. Mine's just like a load of songs and I don't know what, but you know, whatever. Every album's different, but that's really good.
Did you think the two would be compared? I mean, one's hip hop, yours is more electronic.
No, not really. I think I'm where. And that's his first album, really. Which is crazy.
But he did have a couple of mixtapes.
Yeah, he did a couple of mixtapes, but I mean that being your first album, that's a big statement. You know, he's a really good rapper. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Aileen is asking, fans constantly offer to have your babies. What's your initial reaction to things like that?
I mean, I don't know, what would your reaction be?
Bewilderment and befuddlement, I think.
Really?
Yeah.
It's kind of weird, isn't it? Because I wouldn't want to have that many kids.
Sure. It'd get pretty expensive. Only NBA stars have that many illegitimate children. James, who would also like to mention that he shares the same name with you, do you like the Aussie band Jaguar Ma?
I don't know them. I've been listening to Triple J recently though, a bit, and I may have inadvertently heard them. I don't know.
Sure. Yeah, it's they've just been selected recently by the XX
to
support their tour over here.
Over here?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, we were Jonty's doing our support tour, so shout out to Jonty, and he's been really good.
Jack, what is your main creative inspiration behind Overgrown?
There isn't one really. That's kind of bad, isn't it? There should be one. I haven't really got one. I didn't really set out to write an album. I kind of just did in the same way as the first one. You know, even though I knew I was writing one, but I didn't really approach it like that. You know?
Right.
I mean, you have to remember, I'm judge, jury, and execution, and it's all just, the path is just laid out in front of me, and it's just a matter of where I go, and I can't do that thing of like writing loads of songs and then taking them into a studio and then recording them all, because I'm just working on them, you know, persistently. So that's just how they come out. Sure.
Camilla, I heard that RZA designed the cover artwork. What was it like working with such an icon? Did he design the artwork?
I don't think he would have designed it like that if he'd have designed it.
Yeah.
No, he didn't. No. I don't know where she got that from. Well, it was nice working with him, but it was pretty much a kind of 21st century internet expedition. So, you know, he didn't design the album artwork.
Do you have any plans to meet up with him after the album's released?
Yeah. Well, when I'm over there, I'd love to say hello. I mean, it'd be pretty weird if I never met him.
Yeah, that's for sure. Yeah. Jiva, what can we expect at the Sydney show this week?
Some new songs. That's pretty much what I'm bringing to this show. A bit better. Seems like a better show because I've got more. You know, I've got a bigger pool to reach from, and it's the songs they sound a bit better live, I think, than the first time. I'm getting, I think partly because I wrote it to most of it to play live, so now like it's easier to translate naturally.
And are you enjoying? Is the intimate setting helping set the atmosphere of the songs a little easier?
Yeah, I mean, I don't really care how big the audience is in most cases. I mean, it's just like, you know, if it's a small audience, that's great, and if it's a big audience, that's great. They have two different like feelings.
Oh, absolutely. Next question: do you have a favourite song from Overgrown?
What's my favourite song on the record? Probably Life Around, maybe Life Around Here. Even though I said it wasn't really finished. You know, I like playing it out. I like playing it in clubs.
Does the feeling that it's not finished, does that give you more opportunity to manipulate it live and do as you will?
It will do, yeah. Because we'll probably just, when we actually play it live, we'll probably play it better than it is on record. So, or the structure will be more simple, or it will look, I don't know, just the whole thing might just probably be better. I mean, I've heard Ben play the beat on that tune, and Ben playing it sounds infinitely better than me programming it.
Yeah.
So as it should.
Cool. And last question is from Spook. Who is your favourite Australian artist?
Well, I'd have to say that, I mean, the reason we got Jonty to support us was that, you know, we really like him. I'm gonna have to say Gautier, because I do really like him. Actually, when his album came out, I thought it was a really good example of someone just having free reign creatively, and you know, he's obviously a nice chap as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I think he had a lot of hesitation, a lot of anxiety going into that record as well.
Yeah, I think when you got a tune like somebody, yeah, I think he can just do what he wants.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, maybe he had anxiety before that, but you know, I think most people could have told him he was going to be all right after.
He's nailed it. He's all good.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's it, everyone. Thanks for viewing. Thanks for writing in your questions, and thank you very much, James, for being with us.
Yeah. Cheers.
Cheers, mate.
Cheers.